Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Giving the highest praise. Hallelujah. Giving the highest praise. Hallelujah. Give the highest praise. In the morning when I wake up, in the night when I wake up, I will lift up my voice to heaven and give it the highest praise. Hallelujah to my King. Hallelujah to my Father. Hallelujah to my Jesus. Above with all the throne. When I look at all the water and I see all the creation, the beauty of the universe, you never say, you never lie, you never change, you never change. Hallelujah to my Jesus. Hallelujah. 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 Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. If I don't thank you, I will be so ungrateful. What if I know? Touch on more. Touch on your soul. What if I know? Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. If I don't thank you, I will be so ungrateful. Thank you, Jesus. Holy Kanyo. Tato. Hey, Tato. Good afternoon, folks. What a beautiful Sunday. A little bit rough here, but we will manage to get this conversation. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Afonso Z, and so right here in control is 2:46 Eastern Standard Time right here from the New England Bureau. A lot of emergent development. We are here to have the conversation. The Liberal Progressive is standing by. We're going to be going to Maryland High Port, where our man Gus Young is also there to see where we can pick out of that. And we hope our guest, Mr. Wida, will be joining us here very shortly, and the rest of the LPR crew. What a beautiful Sunday here from the East Coast. All of you here, we want to welcome you, Christopher, Antonin, Rendot, Moses, and John Saki, and the list goes on, Moses Flomo. Welcome. Let's get a program going here. It's a little bit late inside Liberia. Let's go where Gus Young is standing by to get the latest before our guests arrive. Let me just bring in Gus. Gus is here, of course, the Liberal Progressive from Studio B, Saxton, Sacramento, Samson Blocko. The man from Totan is here this evening. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Gus, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. So. Okay. Happy to join the conversation this lovely Sunday.
Okay, so let's start on this good note here. How is Harper City doing today?
Well, Harper is relatively calm. The atmosphere is good by the grace of God. We are here since day we've been experiencing a hot weather. But things are on course on the overall.
Okay. But our own guy here, the board guy, the board chair, who and the executive can always buzz hair. But the good thing when we finish with it, he doesn't hold anything when I send in my entire requisition to get the functions of the LPR going. He will say, I always told you, be careful because it seems like you are going above the speed limit. But he's a good guy. The Liberal, jump in anytime. So what is the latest from Harper City? There are a lot of news filtering folks that were apprehended during the Harport incident that were in custody in Harport. We are hearing they have been transferred to Zwedru. I don't know how true is that case, but if they are being removed and sent to the maximum prison compound, it means justice is yet to be. We don't know whether they have gone into the case. In fact, establish the groundwork here. How true is that information?
Well, the information is quite correct, and it's not just happening, or for instance, to say it just happened yesterday or so. Um, at first, when the situation occurred, I just reported through this medium that the Harper Central Prison was being vandalized. So, all of those being arrested were actually transferred to Zweju during that time because the Central Prison in Harper, like I said, was vandalized, and in fact, about 91 inmates that were already at the Harper Central Prison prior to the the protest, right? That the
Mm.
situation that came about this the late motorcyclist Modosius Yuma, the Harper Central Prison already had about 91 inmates that were already convicted cyclists. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Because of the situation, the aggrieved cyclists actually vandalized the police, the Harper Central Prison. So those 91 inmates fled the prison compound. And after the process, when the government declared state of emergency, now security apparatus started to do their work. A few of those people, at least about 34 persons who are motorcyclists, uh, 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 the leaders of the motorcyclists and few other youth in Maryland, about 34 persons were arrested, including the other four guys who are believed to be linked to the crime of the murder situation. They are currently in Zweju because there was nowhere in Harper that they could be kept because, like I
To this
said, the prison
facility.
being vandalized. So it means that they are currently in Zweju.
Oh, okay. So there is let's let's establish the area and the liberal. Don't hesitate if you get a follow up question as well. So based on what I'm hearing, because of the facility that hosted these images, like you said, and we saw the images has been vandalized. So a government tries to transition those people to nearby city, which happens to be Zwadru. It is under that condition, not that they have actually gone into the case. Correct?
No, they haven't gone into the case. But in fact, my understanding is that the case will be heard in Zweju. Like we reported the last time, the county attorney was on the radio the day that was a Monday before the actual protest action, because the protest lasted for like 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So Monday night, the county attorney was on the radio when he made a pronouncement that the case will be heard the August turn of court. Many persons believe that his pronouncement, there were some of the reasons that actually led to the cyclist being so apprehensive of the issue because many a times situations of such occurred in Maryland. The justice, actors, securities, everybody can say they don't have suspect, they don't have suspect. So the cyclists, the youth, including the women, everybody was saying, you always told us you don't have suspect, now you got suspect. Why is it that the thing happened since the 25th of March? Then March, it was on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Monday, you in studio. Then you're saying the case will be heard way in August. So the people, many persons said per the pronouncement made by the attorney, because he did say the county at time really never had sufficient jurors, and there were several murder cases on the docket. And the issue about the justice system, it has some duration, and they are scheduled being placed, right? So, but then it was just like the ending of the federal return of court, and we're about to get to the May turn of court. And after the May turn of court, then we go to the August turn of court. So he said that case actually was expected to be heard for the August turn of court. So on Tuesday, when the guys came together, hundreds of motorcyclists moved around the streets of Plibo. Uh, Subsequently came to Harper and they vandalized the Harper Central Prison, including the Plibo police station was also being destroyed in Plibo Southern District. So that was the situation. And after the government declared state of emergency, like I said, the police started to move around and they started to identify people because the police actually, when things happening, they got their informers all around. Take some people taking pictures unknowingly, some people doing recordings. They got their tactics and a strategy how they can track people involved into the act. So several persons were arrested, about 34 persons so far, motorcyclists, including youth, all being arrested, and they were sent to Zweju Central Prison, including the suspect Moses Lama and the other guys who actually linked to the crime of the issues concerning the murder case. They are currently in Zweju, and the case is expected to be heard August 10 of court in Zweju.
What
Okay.
I want,
The liberal.
yes, what I want to find out is during the insurrection, during the protest or whatever you want to call it, when the prison was vandalized, the prisoners, I believe, perhaps some of them got up. But can you elaborate on that? What happened to the prison and what happened to the prisoner? And if it is, in fact, true that some of the prisoners were able to find their way to Abidjan, where some has been linked to the so-called uh, violent act 2 or 3 weeks ago in Abidjan.
No, um, the situation about the Abidjan stuff, it has not been established as to whether those that were in jail are some members apparently who actually be involved into the act in Abidjan. There were several speculations concerning that, but there have been no facts concerning that. There were, according to the record from the prison superintendent, one Crispin Doe, he said 91 inmates were currently behind bars before the protest action took place. So when the situation occurred, all of those guys fled the prison compound, including the Moses Lama, the fellow who actually admitted of committing the crime because he was also arrested by citizens and subsequently turned over to the police. And he started to make a public confession calling other names. So he was behind bars, and then when the protesters started protesting, all the kind of thing, in fact, they were the one that actually broke the prison compound and permitted all of the prisoners to escape. And they themselves took the guy, Moses Lama, who committed the act. They held him and he kept him for like 2 3 days until the government declared state of emergency, and they themselves, by some other consultation, they were able to turn over the guy who committed the crime before the police or the government of Liberia was able to take control of the guy. And finally, the guy started to call some names. So from the guy was calling names, what he called Open Zipper, he called one other Weir, several other persons. Then he started to call, and how the police started to run after them, they arrested them. There were about 6 persons, but through their investigation thoroughly, all the kind of thing, we finally got to know that indeed the police has 4 persons who are linked to the crime of the murder act, currently behind bars. Like I said, because the prison compound got spoiled, Harper Central Prison, so they sent them to Zweju, the National Correction Palace in Zweju. And
So,
those 34 persons are motorcyclists and some youth who are grand leaders of the protest action in Maryland.
so the county authorities or the police or the security apparatus in Maryland have able to account for the entire prison population before it was vandalized, or they still don't know where the other prisoners are up to this point.
As I speak to you, the security continue to update us. In fact, few of those guys who were already in prison as prisoners when the situation occurred, some of them were being very earnest. For example, John Brown was in jail and the thing happened. John Brown reported himself to the police station. So the police got a strategy, and since you committed yourself and you reported yourself, some of them, for example, maybe they had less than 3 4 5 months to be released. So their fear is that if they run away and they put catch them, maybe they will find another charge or something else. So those were people that reported themselves. So few of those guys that reported themselves, because the police does not have any area now to accommodate them, and since they are being earnest and reporting themselves, so instruction be given that every day, for example, you got to visit the police station so that we can have a count of you. But those hardcore criminals, some people were in jail for murder cases, some people were in jail for armed robbery and several other stuff. Those are some of the guys that were there for extended, maybe some of them were sentenced for 10, 15, 25 years, some there for lifetime. Those are people that actually are on the run. We have not heard information about the police bringing back the total 91 persons that actually fled the prison compound.
Wow.
Wow. Ooh. So, is there any temporary facility now in Hapo or nothing as far you are concerned, to host any potential criminal? Is the police station, was it burned down?
No, Harper Police Station was not tampered with, but the Harper Central Prison was the one being vandalized.
Or that's
Plebo Police Station
the
was,
correction facility?
yes, Harper Central Prison is the correction facility like you're talking about, just as Zweju, right? But the difference between Harper and that of Zweju, Zweju is bigger. Zweju Central Prison is bigger, and it accommodates more persons or inmates than that of Harper. So the Harper Central Prison was vandalized, but the police station was now being tampered with. Plebo police station was actually vandalized, but by the grace of God, some interventions being made. So far, the guys have started working at the Plebo police station. I visited just recent time. We want to find out about the situation of this rape case in Plebo.
Okay, so what are other news emergence out of that whole region, Maryland and its suburbs, and things that we need to know or the audience need to know? Hopefully, the guests going to come here. If not, we're still going to do what we're supposed to do. So, what are other developing news that worth sharing with the public?
Well, from Grand Jita, the Grand Jita Police Department has launched the issue that has to do with Operation Arrest those being involved into the act of the destruction of the police station or burning of the police station in Zweju. Yesterday, we had an exclusive interview via mobile with the Chief of Operation, Lexington Bear from Grand Jita County, where he informed us that the police station being vandalized and they actually have launched the issue of arrest, going after all those involved into the act. And as I speak to you, right now the police has started arresting some cyclists in Zweju. Earlier when they started, it was actually raising up tension because many persons were saying that all of the cyclists were involved into the act. All right. And the cyclists, including residents of Zweju, are also expressing dissatisfaction about the approaches from the security apparatus. According to what we try to do some investigation that we reported the last time, the situation that led to the aggrieved cyclist from Zweju to have burned the police station is the issue that has to do with a vehicle belonging to the police actually ran into the motorcyclist president, right? And currently, as I speak, the guy is on a critical list at the Martha Tugman Hospital in Zweju. So, because the thing is, in fact, the guy who died, for which the guys were angry in Zweju, he was also an officer, right? He used to work at the Correction Palace. That's why he was a famous guy, also involved into a late 1212 also in Zweju, and also sporting activity and such other social activities. So he was a popular guy. But the situation is that the cyclist, according to what we have gathered, the cyclist president was giving instruction, telling his guys to be peaceful, to be kind into the process. What they were doing earlier, some of them were like trying to attack the Muslims or the Fulanis, so to speak, in Zweju, moving into the people's homes while other people were trying to loot. So, according to information, they said the cyclist president was standing before the cry of the cyclists or the good number of cyclists, and he was giving instruction, General, you got to stop. General, you got to stop. You got to do this, do that. So the police car allegedly ran into the guy thinking that apparently the guy was the inciting the cyclists to misbehave. That's some information we're still investigating, and that's why the cyclist concluded upon say, but then it says that the police were like taking side. Because to be frank with you from Grand Jida, the things about Zweju, there are so many things happening in Zweju that actually provoked the residents of Zweju. The Fulanese in Zweju, most of the time when things occurred in Zweju, the Fulanese normally come up and use some statements that indeed the government is in their pocket, the security in their pocket, they control the government of Liberia, they control like that, they kind of breaking and saying some things. So when that situation occurred, many persons said those statements that are elected, being said by the Fulanese or the Dingos or the so to speak, the Fula guys, because they control the economy in Zweju. So they always saying those things. So when the police ran into the cyclists, they got so agitated and they had to run to the police station and burn the police station. But honestly, according to what we have gathered, if the cyclists caused the problem, they have the network. Am I okay?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's see. It's kind of like I know you're kind of acting a little bit something here, but let's go ahead and see.
Some people are saying the car actually lost control. Other people are saying it was intentional. Other people are saying the cyclists actually were not going to do what they did if the police car was not going to cause a problem. So that's the situation in Zwaju. The police have so far launched arrest for those that are involved into the process. And thank God that the AFL is currently in Zwaju. And to be very frank with you, if the AFL were not assigned in Zwaju, Mr. So, I tell you for truth, it means that the whole southeastern region was going to be locked down. I mean, it was going to be a chaotic situation because I'm told that is aggrieved cyclists, including other youth in Zwaju, started to move straight to the National Correction Palace in Zwaju to demolish that structure to ensure that all other inmates will actually come out that will support them into the process and they were going to seriously attack. So immediately the situation started when the AFL heard it because you know the AFL is assigned somewhere around the Cantonment South Bell in Sweden that is not too far from the city. So when the situation started, the AFL was able to like, barricade the whole area and combat the guys, and that's how the thing started. In fact, there was some exchanges. Fire, then the guys started shooting the air to put fear. But then again, they said the reinforcement guys that came, or some ERA, whatever, they came, John Security came from Ganta direction, they enter. The man, as soon as they enter Swahili again, the whole thing was upside down. But by the grace of God, can't be restored. In fact, this morning, I was following the public relations officer for the county superintendent, Kaifale. He paid visit to the police station because he was in Monrovia when this situation occurred. And he just got to Swedju. This morning, I was following their live stuff. And I spoke with the public relations officer. I told him that I need to talk to him to give me the details about some of the official statement being made by the county superintendent. And subsequently, maybe we'll get in touch with the superintendent to tell us his position concerning the situation. But we witnessed the superintendent visiting the police station. He was having some interaction with the police authority from Zwedju.
Okay, all right. Mr. Todd, do you have anything before we allow our guy before we exit from here? I'm not hearing you, Samson. You got to check your mic.
Yes, thank you. I said, no, I don't have any question except to say thank him very much. His information and his reporting are very enjoyable. Let's put it this way. And I truly enjoyed the young man giving us some information and then giving the timeline, the train of thought. I mean, the way he has everything lined up. I really enjoyed that and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
More than cassava leaf and rice.
Mr. So, on a Sunday afternoon, you're going to ask me about Pukesawali and rice while I'm praising this young journalist who have done such a wonderful job. What kind of business is it? My man, thank you, Again. Thank you very much, Augusto. You did a wonderful job. You did a real professional job this afternoon. And I think most of our audience truly enjoy you. It has nothing to do with Kisawali and Pamata. He's talking to me because I cooked Pamata yesterday, and that's why he's trying to talk about.
Oh, he lets the cat out of the bag. Okay, Gus, thank you so much. What are you hearing from Uptime, Morovia? We were to get information out there as well. That is unfolding. But what are other news filtering around in the continent that you can brush through quickly?
Well, recent time, like couple of 2 days, there was some discussion. According to what we have gathered, the Senate had a closed door discussion about the issue concerning the statement from the American embassy near Morovia surrounding Senator Prince Johnson and that of Senator Vani Shema. I've just been following that report. And what we have gathered so far says that the Senate finally actually concluded and talked with the both senators or the both lawmakers to see reason, to see how it looks like to quote unquote paraphrase their statement to boycott from that elections. So they were given like a week to
Oh,
think
they're
about
gonna
it. And
rewrite Elijah. And you are elected, you're not elected again. Oh my goodness. Ooh, go ahead
yeah,
quickly.
Mr. So, before
and
Augusto goes here, can you read that statement you just put out? It's
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to see here. I put it at if you can read. This is from our man Mikey here. This is a radio station that is reporting they want the station without manager, no correspondent, but they are hearing that one other thing that we are hearing. Everybody's doing their own work. That the Fulani guy is out of the country. How true it is? Where is this gentleman involved in this? Any explanation provided? Have you heard anything of such? The Fulani? All right, I think he's frozen from us. Are you hearing?
Question to me, right?
Yeah. Have you?
I'm hearing
Have
you.
you heard anything? The start of ring.
So
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm hearing you. Any information? Any information do you have from authorities relative to this Fulani?
No, not exactly. Not exactly. What I do know is that the Fulani, prior to the situation, in fact, he was arrested, was jailed, but then both families had the discussion, a mutual understanding, where there was a bill filed in for him, and he was like doing his normal thing before that thing happened. Because the interesting thing about Zweju case is that the day the guy started the riot or the protest action was not the day that the guy fought. It was like the situation happened since last month, right? There was a confusion between the both of them, and he was sick because of the fighting, physical exchanges, and whatever. Then he started having that internal bleeding, whatever, and they took him to the hospital, subsequently to Tapeta. So the day the protest started was the day he was announced or being pronounced dead. So his colleagues and family in Zweju felt discomfort about it, and that was how they started the thing. So the whole thing everybody got surprised. Several persons were saying it's possible that the guy did not die because of the fight, because that thing happened a long time. Other people were saying, but he fought and he had internal bleeding. So as he continued to bleed, subsequently that what led to his death. So that was the situation. But the guy was being released. He was on bail.
Is there any medical? Yeah, quickly here before we get it right to our the audience. Is there any medical release relative to the demise of this gentleman that was involved? Any medical release? Any information coming out from the authority that led to his death after that incident?
Certainly right. There was medical report all around the news reported, according to doctors from Tapeta, and subsequently Zweju confirmed that the guy died and he had some internal bleeding.
Internal connected in connection with the incident of his being flogged, correct?
Well, it could be so, but the hospital people will not say because of the fighting or beating or whatever, but they only give the information that he died from some internal bleeding. But I don't have the document in my possession, but it was reported on Smart and Tap FM.
Okay, let me bring
died from internal bleeding.
Okay, let me bring in the laborer. The laborer.
Yes.
How can one authenticate, even though there was an action, we do not know the extensive beatings or physical fight that was involved, but here we are with this here. Do they need to come much clearer of getting information to tell us exactly do they have that capacity to tell us exactly the cause of death?
Mr. So, to be honest with you, let me do two things here. I will do one with the Totan style, and then the other one, which is the civilized style. Not that the people in Totan, not civilized. But in Totan, you beat the man died, that you problem. Because you beat the man bleeding, that you don't want cause it, nothing else. But on this side of the medical reporting thing, they also have to be very careful. And they're going to have to, if they're going to link the death to internal bleeding, which also perhaps might be the direct result of the fight or the flogging, they're going to have to substantiate their report. And I'm not too sure if they have the ability to do that. And that's why perhaps they're sidestepping that. But I think the authority themselves in Grand Gila County or those that are involved need to do whatever it takes to bring peace in our county, because people are grieving. As you heard the reporter saying here, that a couple of times or many other times when there is no conflict, that they.
So when you say do peace, what are you specifically talking about? There's a death already involved in this.
They're going around. And listen, the young man reporter here, one of the attention came about when the AFL left Nima County to come to Zwadru. Now, When you're doing these things, you have to calculate what the mindset of our people is. AFL leaving Nima County to come to Grand Gila to enforce rule. Now, do our people have the capacity to understand that this is a governmental issue? It has nothing to do with tribe. It has nothing to do with, but other people who want to inflame the situation. Oh, they're bringing people from Nima County to come keep us down. That's the kinds of mentality that our people. So when you're dealing with our people, you're going to have to put yourself in your mindset so that you will deal with this thing effectively. Because you can go and arrest everybody else if the people in the county or in Zwadru, if they don't want peace, you're not going to be able to quiet things down. So it's better because somebody died. What happened? The government and even those who are involved need to get things straightened.
Oh, okay. I think I just lose our man. Actually, the guy who's supposed to be here up to this time, he have the information, but we're getting some news happening here now, so we're gonna be bringing it. Well, Liberal, interestingly, our correspondent, Edward Colley, based in the nation capital of Liberia, is reporting two developing news. Senator Edwin Melvin Snow of Bon County. Here, what we are getting now. Bonny County, not Bon County, I'm sorry, folks. Bonny County Senator Edwin Melvin Snow Jr. to introduce three landmark legislation aimed at promoting religious tolerance, peace, and unity, calls on his colleagues and the public to support said legislation. The legislation is to be introduced as follows. One, an act making Easter Monday a public holiday, cutting down some revenue for the government. Two, an act making El Bahal, which is the Ramadan, Ibrahim Day, a public holiday. An act making El Fitr, end of the holy month of Ramadan, the festivals of breaking fast, a public holiday. Once introduced, it will make the total legislation preferred by the senator to be the fourth in less than 4 months in office. Shortly, this pronouncement it will be carried out on major news outlet, according to the statement that we are receiving through FM, OK FM, Hot FM, Sky FM, and TV, Prime FM, Radio Voice of Truth, Radio Bezont, and Radio Kejima. I don't know where the station is reporting. This is Edwin Snow. We are also hearing that the ANC political leader Alexander Benedict Cummings will be speaking. Yet we do not know the details surrounding his speech, what he's going to be saying, but it seems to be a lot is unfolding. Samson Toll, let me just bring you here. This is quite interesting. Melvin Snow, where is he heading?
Well, Mr. Snow, he's a political carpetbagger, as I call him. But one of the good things about this young man is that he got the nose for politics, and he knows exactly what it trend
is. He gimme as head
Yes.
of this 20?
Yes, exactly.
You remember that this guy is hanging out with there is some sort of uncertainty with his political direction. Will we see the ball dropping at the end of the day? And what would that be?
Well, Mr. Snow, it seemed to me that Mr. Snow, as a politician, trying to go with the wind of thought of the citizen in the country, and I think this holiday for our brothers and sisters of the Muslim faith is way overdue. There's no question asked. These brothers and sisters, they are not stranger to Liberia. They are Liberian. They are. I mean, many of them are more Liberian than many other Liberians, if I may say so, because they were there when Liberia were if you want to call it, founding. These people, they were not brought there Love of Liberty, they didn't bring Manigopio in Liberia. Lord of Liberty met Manigopio in Liberia. Lord of Liberty met the Muslim brothers and sisters in Liberia. So they are not strangers.
Oh,
Why is it that up to this point they will not have their own holiday where they will be able to have friends and family members gather and celebrate in whatever faction they find? Why would we have Christmas and all the other Christian holiday, and then but when it comes to the Muslim brothers and sisters, they have nothing to count or to bring themselves together? The only time they take holiday when we celebrating Christmas, then of course they take holiday. That for me is unacceptable, and I think Senator Snow is recognized that, and he recognized the win of the politics, and he's doing that exactly.
Is he a political venture tie in, or is it fair for us to tie in with a sort of political venture unknowing, or what is the motive of that? And I know it's overdue. I'm not sure why that conversation have not, for whatever reason, politicians, but I know similar thing has happened in the past. It didn't go as well. So now Edwin Snow is coming this, paying huge because to get the, and the essence is a good strategy. He's working here. More than 5 station networks. So it means he has bought the time slot. Whatever program they will have had that time, it will be cut off. And that's how it works in the media industry. You pay for if it's supposed to be like $200, you say, okay, I'll give you $300. Give me this hour here. And they're going to find that sort of prime time here. Is he aiming at a political venture that we don't know?
Mr. Snow, from my...
Because it definitely going to resonate with a specific block to say, oh yeah, yes, this is the guy here. And that people could factor in.
Yes, Mr. Snow is not Johnny come lately to Liberian dirty politics. Mr. Snow has been around, and he's quite aware of it. Now, the speculations, and I'm saying speculation because we have no facts here, but the speculation is that most likely that the common vice president is not going to go for the second term with the CDC. If that is the case, and they are unable to bring in the Chief Justice, who has announced publicly that he has no intention of being second in command with Dr. Weir. So remember, Minister,
what was the formula they used? Okay, and your point, because he says something here very interesting.
Yes, Minister Snow quite recently traveled with the president, and there's that famous pictures showing both of them on the aircraft. Now, what I'm suspecting, Minister Snow, knowing full well that if the current vice president, is no longer going to be on the ticket, they're going to want somebody
What was the formula? Is that a quadratic equations or some sort of engineering?
Mr. So,
why do you come out that the vice president will not be on the ticket?
Don't give these people credibility, even though they associate themselves with Professor Zagro, who is a math whistler, but don't give them credibility. People got no clue on math. They don't know what a quadratic equation is, what it does, and how you come about it. They have no clue. So don't bring that into when you calling people that Edwin Snow and the president and everybody else. They have no clue when it comes to quadratic equation. So don't bring them in there. But here's what I'm saying. Mr. Snow is politically calculating to say if the vice president is not going to be going for the second term, CDC would like to look for vice president, and the Chief Justice have already stated publicly that he have want nothing to do with it. So Snow is now trying to position himself to say, hey, I'm around. And with this bill passing, he's calculating that the Muslim faith in Liberia will now gravitate towards him and try to be his sponge, to be his booster, so that he will be able to have the most higher favorability in Liberia, specifically from the Muslim community. But what Mr. Snow perhaps is not recognizing is that the Muslim community suffered during Charles Taylor administration, suffers during Charles Taylor and the NPFL incursion in Liberia. Many of those Muslim brothers and sisters still have those things in mind. And what position was played by people like Senator Snow. So instead, this is what I'm saying about this war crime code, Mr. So. If this thing comes up, people like Mr. Snow should go in there and clear their position. That's about the only way. But you can't have speculation. Oh, it was part of the child center government. Now you want to please the Muslim community by bringing it, which is a good, like I said, this particular holiday issue for our brothers and sisters is way overdue. That thing should have happened long time, Tottenham time, even before that. As soon as they start the Christmas business in Liberia, they should have started Muslim holiday immediately. There should be no separation. However, now Minister Snow is coming now and putting these things out here. There is a serious speculation.
And I did hear you. I did hear you saying he had a ride with the president in recent time, which all of us know about that. Possibly, you think there was some sort of butting heads together. This is what I'm thinking about. This is what I'm trying to do, and maybe the president. Okay, this could be a good. It could be a good deal. Do you think so?
Well, if I were to fly on the wall in the plane at the time when they were flying, one of the conversations most likely was happening. Remember, he was accused of the government giving things to distribute to the people, and he comes in and uses it as his own way of giving things to the people. So, in fact, President, we are during the election. Made that we give people things here to bring to you, then they claim they're doing it on their own. We give it to them, specifically making reference to Edwin Snow. So with them,
but that deal, from all indication, that deal has been settled. Snow fired back at the president.
Exactly.
And I think the president did realize that he was trying to something like. He fires back, and I think the president understood that political tone, knowing what is at stake. And Edwin Snow, there's no way that you can. We don't even know where he stands on a lot of these things here. What are you with the opposition or with the government? Where is he down in now?
Mr. Snow, as far as I'm concerned, he's an undercover sedition, Mr. Snow.
Oh my goodness!
This is liberal. I speak my mind. I don't care what you think. I believe Edwin Snow is an undercover sedition. It's just a matter of time before he become a full-fledged sedition. And what happened? Now,
are there more? Are there more that we need to know?
Of course, there's more coming. You remember there was an incident between Eugene Falcon and Edwin Snow, and Eugene Falcon was taken to jail. Now, Eugene Falcon was also suspended after certain things. Eugene Falcon is back. When was the last time you heard Eugene Falcon talking badly about Edwin Snow? Ain't happening anymore, because he has been warned very strongly, I believe. Now, Edwin Snow, when they went to bomb me, he said, I'm just paraphrasing now. I will put my neck on the chopping block that the president will win bombing when he ready, will run campaign. He's supposed to be a Unity Party member, Unity Party senator somehow. Now he's saying he's running campaign to elect CDC. Why will we not consider him undercover sedition?
So it seems like we are getting more indicators here. The holdings of the collaborative party, your party, Liberty Party, is part. And so if you see a high-profile politician from one of the party, by the way, his guy, Joseph Boyka, is also in the race. So that's the interesting part. If he can hang out with Joseph Boyka and we're going to be hanging out with Dr. Weir, that is like putting a gap or within the Unity Party political belt.
Sadly, Mr. So, the entire political spectrum in Liberia, the leadership in these political parties in Liberia, they know who Edwin Snow is. Edwin Snow go with the wind. Whatever the wind is blowing at the time, that's what Edwin Snow will be. So they're not counting on Edwin Snow being a stable politician with a stable support for a particular candidate. As soon as the CDC goes one way, Edwin Snow coming back to another side. So even if Liberty Party were to succeed in getting the state power, Edwin Snow will come crawling back to the Liberty Party, want to be a Liberty Party. Edwin Snow is the political, you know what.
Okay. And Kume, in recent time, he's been showcased heavily. Well, he's buying a lot of stuff, he's doing stuff, getting to be heavily involved in that. So, is he solidifying his political ground here with Boyka? Is that the case?
Mr. So, there's a very interesting thing going from our perspective. It's a very interesting thing that's going on. Dr. Baka had an interview quite recently with Custer. In that interview, for me, from what I stand, does not portray Dr. Baka as being a unifier. That particular interview, if you listen to points of that interview, Dr. Baka seemed to be come across as being vindictive. And Dr. Baka came across as someone who is not ready to unify that country. And I think the ANC and Cummings recognize that. But before that, every one of us and every one of these people were thinking that perhaps the best way for ANC to get state power was to go second to Dr. Baka. But after that interview, and everybody recognized that Dr. Baka most likely might not be a good unifier, and we need that right now. So I think ANC is not trying to exploit that possibility. However, politics is the number game. ANC and Kumi do not have number. The number is not on their side. So they're going to be bamboozled to accepting Dr. Baka. And the best way for ANC, to my opinion, folks, for the best way for ANC to be able to come close to state power is to be second to Dr. Baka. Now, think about it. How old is Dr. Baka? What, 70 something? So in ANC, if I were part of the ANC hierarchy, I would ask Cummings to go second. Dr. Baka, once they win the state power, Dr. Baka is not going to see second term election. No way. He can't do second term. We'll be lucky if he even finished. Not that he's going to pass. I'm just saying he might be real tired to say, well, let this young man go ahead and we'll be on his side. And I believe that's exactly what Dr. Baka is going to do. He will step aside and let Cummings carry on, but then he'll be referred to as the political of godfather who will try to guide the Cummings and the rest of the people. Now, the interesting thing, as I stated, from that interview, Dr. Baka does not come across as someone who will be a unifier. And I think Unity Party need to work hard on it to make sure that Dr. Baka looks like somebody who will be unified. How are you going to be a unifier when you're talking about the president? The presidency is not a position where you come and just take everything, including women. Who the president are going to take with me anyway? Dr. George Weah doesn't go around grabbing people. Why would the some vice president make a statement like that? That is ridiculous. That is not something that was supposed to be coming out of the mouth of the father of the nation.
Okay, we're being joined by Amos George, a senior contributor. He's on wheel. I'm not sure he gathering some pulses or news here. Hopefully, we're going to have that. Mr. George, welcome.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Great Sunday.
Yeah, the Liberal is on fire.
I tell you,
this evening here. So, is the deal with even the collaborations with all that is going on within the ruling establishment, the collaboration, they have their own work to do. We saw what happening with the Steve Zako scenario. There are still others who are unsatisfied with his party chairperson. A lot of things still there unsettled. And yeah, we are. And I think Comey is trying to make a good fight. So now the questions, how can even would Joseph Boyka really distance himself from Helen Johnson Sirleaf? How can he effectively prosecute that?
Here's the thing here.
Because potentially, before he come in, he would be tied with the Helen Johnson Sirleaf, even though he said he was packed. Okay, we understand that, but you were for 12 years. So when you got that independence, how can he exonerate himself from someone? So is he going to be part of some of the good things that Helen Johnson Sirleaf did, and he's going to extract himself the bad things of the bad governance aspects of Helen Johnson Sirleaf? How can we safeguard those sort of conditions?
Look, here's the first thing here. I said it before. In Liberia, it's difficult for a single political party to win 51+% of the vote. But however, I said it before, if I was someone official in the ANC, I would not go into that collaboration or that marriage. Because I see some people here, especially from the Unity Party and the LP, They want to play identity politics. They still coming with this Congo country. That's why I see.
Hold on 1 second. Identity politics.
Oh yes.
Coming from both the Liberty Party and the Unity Party, you say?
The Baka party and Benina Yuri. They're pushing our line, but people are not looking at this in very critical. They're pushing our line contra Congo. They have made indications of the very lines. Politics is normal, we understand. But today, what is Joseph Baka standing? He himself, Baka, said he's not part of the Ellen Johnson government because he was just there. He was not part of it. So if he says so, how can he come back in to clean any positive thing that the government did? He can't claim glory for it because he had already separated himself. He was not part of it. He said it. So yes, the question now, it would be like John Kerry, our for it, then I was against it. And this is what Boyka will have to do. Because Boyka under the Ellen Johnson government, there was some good thing that happened. If you are a smart politician, he would have taken that good and said, look, we made some mistake down the line. And I realized that I take full responsibility, but seeing what we did, where we err, we can make that correction. And we will move forward from there. But he didn't do that. He separated himself. So he cannot clean any positive thing that happened during the Ellen Johnson government.
Okay.
And
so
let me just end on this. And people said that Boyka is the best man. But look at the interview how Mr. Toh was alluding to. He said, when question asked him about his health and thing, he said something condescending about the Liberian people, that people wishing for him to die. If this man is a unifier, is that how you will speak?
then after he got a boat, I don't know where they ride. They're going to ride ferry, or is that a ferry? Is that a boat or canoe, or what is that?
This is a boat. But if he or unifier, that's how he will speak. Even if people praying for you to die as a leader, as a statement, is that a statement for you to utter to them? It is constant.
Was there any harm? Okay, let me hold you. Okay, I put the information something my daughter here today. So please be nice here. Be nice with me here today. My daughter, she says she's watching from Liberia. Be nice here. Other than that, NT arrow never to return on this network here. Okay, so let me bring in Young here. Girls, are you there?
Why are you threatening the man? Because your daughter.
I said, hold on, Mr. George. Let me just say this. My daughter, thank you for watching. But right now, your father is a conservative, and I'm going to deal with him as a conservative. I'm a liberal. I'm here to free the Liberian people. He's here to make sure the Liberian people follow the conservative idea and make things narrow. And I'm here to give him a broad perspective. So please,
George,
lady, follow us.
Pa George gave him the ever-ready battery. That's why you're going here. But let's come to the point here, gentlemen. Young, guys, are you there? Oh, this internet business here is so crazy in Liberia. That let me see. Let me get him up and see whether he can. We get it because we want to get a take from inside Maryland, the Maryland quarter there. That's the hometown. So, do you see there as a potential problem for Ambassador Boyka?
Mr. So, except the Liberian people don't look at the issue and raise it. But in a debate, Boyka will have to answer this question. This notion that he was just parked, this man made 43 trips, if I'm not mistaken.
I think 50, almost 40, yeah, 40 or 50, some would say international street representing the governor of Liberia.
On behalf of the governor of Liberia, representing the government.
Nearly all of the continents.
All the continents he visited, the UN, China, all the area he went, on behalf of the government. But today he come and tell the Liberian people, I was just parked. When it comes to the money business, then he will park. Because the budget that he offered had, if the country was suffering, that kind of money you're taking in, and you say you are parked, then I have a question to the people to explain. Furthermore, people always say, Honorable Baka, he was never involved in corruption. But Why do dismissing for a $2.7 million business? Why do dismissing? And when he working into our government, he was dismissed. I think charge of dismissing. Let's see all the letters to show why he was dismissed. If those
But
things were
Mr.
lies.
Joyce, Mr.
Okay,
Joyce,
I'm coming, guys. Let me bring in Young.
dismissed.
Hold on. But to 1 minute, I know you're going to come. Let me bring in Young. Are you there? Gus. Well, Gus, I think, yeah. Yeah. Okay, quickly here, let me ask you. You are in Harper, you are in the backyard, or you are in the corridor with, of Alexander Cummings. What is the conversation there ahead of 2023? What are the Marylanders? I mean, I know you got to get your own. Your backyard has to be tight in order to solidify your political grip. What is there any conversation ongoing to regarding Alexander Cummings' potential bid for presidency 2023?
Mr. So, to be very honest with you, reported this sometime.
You got to be a little bit audible.
Senatorial election. Can you hear me? I said I reported similar thing like this during the senatorial elections. I don't want to generalize it to say the Southeast, but to be very frank with you, the CPP or Mr. Cummings as a person in Maryland County, even if he contests to be a senator in Maryland County, there will be a serious battle and a challenge for him to win. For you,
Why?
Marylanders, Marylanders are not basically looking at Alexander B. Cummings to be alternative or to succeed President George Weah. Many persons are despite of the challenges that the government has. The people of Maryland County still believe that indeed the president is making several other interventions or this government is making several other interventions, which does not suggest in any way that the president is the best or he cannot be defeated in the 2023. But per the question that you asked, that you to put Alexander B. Cummings on the ticket comes 2023, it means that from the Maryland judgment now, it means that CPP definitely, Ambassador, we will defeat the CPP. I'm just giving this issue from the Maryland side. I'm not generalizing the results from the 15 counties. If Honorable Alexander B. Cummings remains on the ticket for the CPP comes 2023, I can tell you for free, but what we have noticed, what we hear on a daily basis in street corners, Alexander B. Cummings will be defeated massively. Even the senatorial elections is a challenge for Alexander B. Cummings in Maryland. I tell you, like I was telling you the last time on you invited the CPP candidate, Honorable. What we have seen so far, the two persons in the race were actually Senator Dan Morales and James Poppy Ban, who is a senator elect. Another person who was also a formidable force was Professor Dr. Emmanuel Water Tupo. And Dr. Tupo would have been a best choice for Maryland County if the CPP has kept him on the ticket, honestly. But
Okay, so
unfortunately, for some political
what's
reasons
about
and whatever, that
what's
was the
about
elections.
what is the
And
opinion? Yeah, quickly. What is the opinions people regarding Ambassador Boyka? Because right now there seems to be two major contenders within the collaborations here: Joseph Boyka and Benedict Arizona Cummings. There. What are they talking to? What are you hearing about Ambassador Boyka?
problem for this 2023 election when it comes to the decision making for the presidency. Ambassador Joseph Ima Baka in 2017 elections, all of the people from Maryland County, in fact, the Southeast side, Ambassador Baka was very old. He has overstayed in government. They have not felt his impact. He has worked for more than 40 years. And by the grace of God, he had the opportunity to serve in two terms as a vice president. Some of those
Okay,
statements he
Yon.
made that he was being parked and all the kind of thing. But I got a latest update from Morovia I wanted to talk about.
Okay, let's go ahead quickly.
So, Bombay County Senator Edwin Melvin Snow has announced recently that he will introduce three major legislations on flow of this week. According to him, the legislations will include an act to make Easter Monday a public holiday in Liberia, an act to declare or talking about Abraham Day to be a public holiday in Liberia, and the issue that has to do with for making the Ramadan Day to be a public holiday in Liberia. According to Edwin Mervyn Snow, Senator, he said this week will be his serious issue that he's going to put forth onto a discussion. He made these assertions on his personal Facebook page over the weekend. So that's when I was giving
Okay.
update from Monrovia about Senator Prince Johnson and Senator Vanishelli. I call it Vanishema. Actually wanted to talk about it, but the network was left floor to waiting. But I'm still following the conversation and enjoying the program. And that is why I thought to give you update about this, the discussion and the plan for this week at the
Uh,
House of the Senate from Honorable Melvin Snow.
okay. Thank you so much, God. Thank you so much. Thank you. So the liberal, I'm
Yes.
sorry, it's intercepting you. Do you think this is going to be like a column cancer on Ambassador Boyka? With the, you know, our people, when they post something behind you, they make sure they bury you with a he oh. How can you say you pack and you've been with the president of this year? So it's like a stigma now being placed on Ambassador Boyka and the folks at the Unity Party. What sort of bleach do we need to find to get that to wipe it up?
Easy. Easy. Very, very easy. All we have to do is to say, you want your man, you got your man. What your man doing for you now? That's the first question. You don't got no role. When it rain, you're in the southeast. You can't even travel. That is the second question. Look at you. What a job. Your young people running in the street or in the southeast. The sun burning you. You can't do nothing because you got young men. But I, Dr. Baka, will say, the old man with the experience.
So there he's work out our man, the coordinator for LPR, Mike Dan, is trailing here. So it's like he's following Tapa George. He's following the patent of now Boyka, Dr. Weir, to say I will give you a role, right? That's the role model. So everybody going to be doing roll.
See, it's just preposterous for people to continue to play on the Liberian roll. What is this role? It's essential. But what is the manpower of the country? These are issues. The roads is good. But what is the human capacity building institution? Hospitals, schools. What is the job? So explain the role you give these people. How are they going to survive? These are issues. This thing must be addressed.
The liberals are going to finish finding the solution as to how the ambassador or the Unity Party can get away with it. He's saying it like he's getting his evening dinner as easy as should be. Now the question now becomes the opponents of Ambassador Boyka. Do they have that capacity, the tools to effectively wage that sort of political war?
I don't think so. I don't. Let me address my center right conservatives here this afternoon.
I want no kudos from you. You just go.
No. I'm not here to praise you. Far from it. Why would I want to praise a center right conservative? Why would a liberal want to praise? I'm not going to praise it, but I will be factual. It's not praising. Factual. Now, let me say this here to Mr. Josh. You can be on a job and get fired, and those that are doing the firing will come out and make some story up. This man, this Dr. Baka has not been found guilty of anything. He was fired. Yeah. What was the reason? The government gave the reason. Am I supposed to trust Doe government to say Doe government is that credible government? Am I supposed to trust Charles Taylor's government? Is that a credible government? Hold on. I don't care top man, whatever. Those people are all. Please, we're not going to go there. I'm not going to even touch top man. But my main point here is this. Dr. Baka and the people, the opposition stand a better chance. Southeast, you want young people. We get them young people. The 12 year, 6 year coming. Did I say 12 years? I've seen them 12 for what? 6 years. 6 year coming up. It's going to be done. Now we're gonna come in as an intellectual, the Liberty Party, the collaborating political party. Not only are they intellectually capable, but they have the manpower, train people to work and help Liberia. Here's the interesting thing about Dr. Baka. He has been there. He has seen the mistake. With only little but that I
He
have.
has been there. He has seen the mistake. Has he ever admitted? Pa George,
Mr. Shaw, please.
hold on.
Let me finish my statement. Let me finish my statement, please. The only little but that I have is this. Dr. Baka, like I said from the beginning, the interview, he came across as somebody who is not a unifier. Having said that, is Dr. Baka have the ability to take responsibility, as Mr. George was saying, to say, look, I was part of this government, the Ellen government, and there were X, Y, and Ellen government didn't do everything right, but it did some beautiful thing. If you're going to tout the beautiful thing, you're also going to take responsibility of what not so beautiful. And if you come across like that, then I think you will be successful. As far as Kumi is concerned, you heard the young man from Maryland come there. Kumi, and it's not just Maryland. Kumi issue, as far as I'm concerned, he's not too much connected with the Liberian people.
That's a political identity you're talking about there. Goss Young, before Pa George comes in here, is that a real major deal for Alexander Kumi? Is that how his opponent going to define him? Well, he was a newcomer, and so he's moving here and there. Is he still struggling with that?
Well, there are several fighters that Marylanders actually been raising against Alexander B. Cummings. The last time I personally held a conversation with him, both on the radio and exclusive press conference. We raised up the issue where the questions and concerns raised by residents of Maryland. People said some of the problems they have with Alexander B. Cummings. He's one of the richest persons in Liberia, but he currently doesn't have a dwelling place in Maryland. Usually when he comes to Maryland, he sleeps at either a hotel or to one of his friends' home. People question about it. Why is it you want to be president and you claim to be from Maryland County, but you don't have a dwelling place in this place? You cannot show a structure that this is mine. Mr. Cummings did say in return to response of those concerns, Mr. Cummings said, if I build a multi-purpose or modern structure in Maryland County, and I'm not living here, I'm not residing here, what would be the significant impact to the people of Maryland? That structure will just be closed up, and I'll be in Monrovia and whatever doing other things. The work and whatever I'm seeking, I try to paraphrase a statement now, whatever I'm seeking job, I'll be in Monrovia, I will not be in Maryland. So why don't you think about me building the capacity and impacting the lives of the young people of Maryland rather than you talk about infrastructure? Chairperson said that statement was not working. If he has a tangible infrastructure into this county, definitely a showcase that he has interest about this place, and definitely people can easily get to him at all time. So it's not about him not being so familiar with the people or not being used. People are tackling him from several other fighters. Another one, the people are saying that some time ago, Alexander B. Cummings claimed to come from the Caldwell Bill. People are saying that they challenge him. In fact, even one of the senators of Maryland County said he also from Caldwell, but he cannot point out the town or the wherever that Alexander Cummings came from. So the question about him being a Marylander is still a doubt, a dark cloud all the time. But this is what happening in the county. So this is what the people are saying continuously.
Now we start getting different things now. The liberal, Pa George.
Yeah.
So the deal is still not done. All right. As a politician, based on what we are hearing, if that's the statement he ever made to the voters of Maryland, I'm not living here, so if I put out anything here, was that a smart political decision?
It was not a smart political decision to speak, but he was just being candid. But let me go there. Do Georgia have a proper doing Grand Crew? No, Joe said he left. He said 1972 or what? Or his second time going back, his first time going back to Grand Crew. He doesn't have a horse there. Nobody questioned him. But here's the thing here.
Can he bang on that as an argument to make reference to Tawia?
I think that was the argument you are making. But here's the point here. But the question I'm posing is go to the Maryland. Do the Joe guy have a horse in Grand Crew? Saying he left 1972. According to he never been back there. He had made all the money. What did he do there? Nothing. But when you went there for the visit, that when he showcased, lighting the place up. And let me say this. Let me be honest. Comey was not born in Maryland. Comey was born in Monrovia, Monrovia. That's where he lived all his life. His parents came from Maryland, migrated to Monrovia. And many of us, people born children in Monrovia, some of them have never gone back home again. Maybe for some people they start go back. But that's the argument of the Maryland. I cannot question them why they're saying it, but I just want to throw that out there.
The liberal.
But let me just say, this issue Mr. Toll is talking about, Boyka, that though government were not credible, Taylor government was not credible, Tower government were not credible. There is something wrong if you say these things. Those days, they fire you, they will not even have to prosecute you. You will go and sit there for 2 years. Then your friend that kind of beg the president and say, my man, the man has done 2 years. You got to get the man something. The man come by in government. That's how it was like a boys club. That's why government was run in Liberia. That's how I said those are the things that encourages corruption in Liberia. Because when the president fired this person, he said that after 2 years, they go and beg the president. They bring it back. It happened on a tower. It happened on a door. It happened on all the presidents. That's how the country was being run.
So
That how can you see Joseph Baka went to agriculture, I think twice, LPNC, all the way, because when they fired them, they were saying that after 2 years, they said, they go to the president, Mr. President, the man that pay his punishment. Then he come back. That's how the country was run. Nobody was highly prosecuted.
Here's the thing with that argument, Mr. George. Here's the counter argument to that. And as usual, I'm a liberal. I would do that. Here's the counter argument to your point, Mr. George. And let's be truthful here a little bit. Dr. Baka was the vice president. Was the faucet of corruption. He has a key to open the faucet of corruption. So his whole building, his whole house will be flooded, will be inundated, will corrupt anything he wants. Here's the man just told us on that interview that you make reference to, that he lives from borrowing money from the bank. If this man were corrupt and used to steal, and now he has a key to corruption, why would he not carry out the same behavior? Mr. George, that argument will not hold water. Liberians are sophisticated nowadays. You can't argue bringing back Toba and Doe and Taylor there and say the fire him. If he was corrupt, why would he not do the same thing on an Ellen? Ellen and her family were carrying on corruption publicly in people's eyes. When was the last time? Hold on, Mr. George. Hold on, please. When was the last time you heard during Ellen government that Dr. Baka might have or may have or maybe that he stifling some people gas slip? When was the last time? Never. So if the man was corrupt at that time, why would he be in charge of corrupt behavior now? Why would he not do that? Because of Mr. George going to come and help you out and punish him?
Hold on, Mr. Toll. If you are in a house and people are stealing and you don't say anything, but you get your benefit, you sanction that action. You sanction that action. You said you are list, you have made a laundry list. Oh no, Baka doesn't have to take anybody gas slip. He had enough. He doesn't have to do so.
2 million? 2 million is awful.
Yeah, that's enough money. And he tell you that he living on borrowing money. Is that being honest? You made 2.7 million and say you're living on borrowing money? Is that you being honest? Nah. Honorable Baka was in charge of the group of 72nd, the Liberian National Lottery. What is the improvement that he do at that institution? His wife was there. You say he's not corrupt, but his wife on group of 77. That not conflict of interest? What did he do to improve the life of those people at the group of 77 on Newport Street, where you and myself know that tower bill? What did he do there? His wife was there. It's not conflict of interest. Bring that. Look, me, I said I'm ready for a debate. Y'all bring it on. Why you call that? If he's not corrupt, he got a wealth on the group of 72nd.
Let me ask you, which way are you leaning in this whole political disco?
Me?
Uncover sedition. Uncover sedition.
I'm a centrist. If it go left, if it wrong, I will attack it. If it go left, right, it wrong, I will attack it. And this is the debate we're having. They say that this man is not corrupt. Let me take them by the word. But what happened at the group of 77? What was the changes that made under his supervision? He took a waiver there. It's not conflict of interest.
But what is your argument? Are you arguing nepotism? Are you arguing
nepotism, corruption? These are all things that we are arguing about.
Do you even have voting right in Liberia?
Don't bother with me. I do not have to have a voting right.
No, I'm just asking. Do you have a voting right in Liberia?
No, I do not have.
Okay, if you don't, and you're speculating, so please, Dr. Baka is the man.
Okay, let's not, guys.
And he will be the next president of the Republic of Liberia.
Mr. Tobo, you asked me if I have a voting right. I said no. Now, why are you asking? Do you have a voting right in Liberia?
I'm not answering that.
But why are you not answering that? You asked me.
Just say you plead the fifth.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, I don't.
No, you have to say it
right now.
You have to say it exactly that I'm pleading here. You have to say just say I plead the fifth.
Okay, I plead the fifth.
Okay, then we'll know where you stand. You know where you stand now.
Guys, are you there?
Yeah, these questions are hard questions. Are the core questions we're supposed to. This is the discussion we should be having. Because,
but Mr. Judge, on a very serious note, Mr. Judge, the point that I'm making is this: they brother, forget about whether you have voting rights or not. You are Liberian. You're arguing. You've been doing it for years and years, seeking the interests of our people, the better living for our people. That's what you do. You don't have to have a voting right. But the point that I'm making here is this, Dr. Baka, and the point you made is good. But if Dr. Baka was a corrupt man those days, why would he now be calling himself packed in a garage? And Dr. Baka, look at the man's house. Look where he lives. Hold on, Mr. Joyce. Look at where Dr. Baka lives and compare that to other people in those similar positions. You will find out that many of these young people were taken, and go look at the places they live here in America. You will find out many of them have millions and millions of that. So this idea of the man was corrupt and therefore we should be, no, I don't buy that. I think Dr. Baka is a clean as whistle. The only issue that you and I are going to agree on is that Dr. Baka from that interview does not come across as a unifier. That's the one you and I are going to agree on. But as far as corruption, you're going to compare Dr. Baka with Dr. Weah in terms of corruption? There's no comparison.
Hold on there. Do you have any proof that Georgia is corrupt?
I know.
Can you prove that?
Oh, definitely.
How?
What do you mean how? First of all, the man refused. He refused to give us his access information before coming in. Number two. Second thing, so he cannot tell us where he got the money from to build all of these palaces he had. We don't know that. Third, we don't know when you have Manuba Maru that when he goes out of the country to say he's begging for money, the money coming, he takes the money for himself. That's coming from Manuba Maru, chairman of CDC.
Can you take that to the? Is that arguable in the courts of competent jurisdiction?
Of course, I can bring Manuba Maru to testify. Oh no!
Okay. So let me ask. I come in 1 second. Goss, are you still there with us? Oh, I think his stuff is turning. Let me just get him off here. So, can you? Is that something? Is that an arguable case? Something
of course, if this is in a court, Mr. So, I will bring Manuba Maru and put him on the stand under oath. And Manuba Maru will.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think the president has committed a crime on these things that you have elaborated? Has he committed a crime?
Not yet proven in the court of law. No, then I would say no.
So then why will you make those sort of accusations if it is not proven? So on what basis? Your perceptions, your own creations, or what?
What do you mean by own creation? I just gave you my, not just my perception, but what is the prevailing will in Liberia?
But then let me ask.
Is that why you're going to take to court? Is that how when you
No, that's not it. If I go to court,
so I'm asking you the question. All of what you have elaborated, is there any crime being committed?
Mr. So, here is the document.
No.
Here is the document.
No,
what do you mean?
You're not answering my question. You're not answering my question.
Explain to you, Mr. So. Here is the document that I'm holding in my hand right now.
What is that?
I can go into it. This document, which is the core report. We also have another set of documents from auditing report.
So,
which says, Mr. So, this man, I'm not saying that I've seen him being corrupt, taking people money, but he's in charge. The buck start with him. Samuel 12 and the rest of the people went to do map out, and we have no result. Samuel 12 and the rest of the people took $16 billion. We have no result. The buck start with Dr. Weir, and Dr. Weir is responsible.
No, Mr.
Papa Joy, let me come back. Samson Toe.
I'm listening. Yes, sir.
From Toe Town. Is there any crime being committed by the president?
The buck
alleged crime, do you think?
The buck stop with the president. The president is in charge, and if anybody is perceived or any corrupt behavior people know about, he's in charge.
Who are the people? Who are you trying to form alliance with?
I'm not forming an alliance with anybody.
So why
the USA?
So why people are not pushing if it's an alleged crime and
let him agree now. Let him agree to bring the war crime and economic
hold on.
No, I'm just saying. Bring the court and let's see if I can prove my case or not.
Mr. Toe, I'm saying, Honorable Boyka, there's alleged corruption against him.
Alleged.
Hold on.
Why can I not also say alleged?
No, but you're not using alleged. You already caught the case. You have already adjudicated him.
I haven't caught it yet.
Don't let me lose my thought. Let me say this.
Okay, go ahead, finish.
Okay, hold on there. You came swinging at George Weir. But let me ask you, when Joseph Baka was fighting for 12, did he declare his asset before he questioned George Weir? He never. When he became vice president, he never told the president.
No, let him answer the question. Don't answer.
No, he will answer. He never told the president what he had when he became vice president. And up to the time he left, he never declared his asset. But Ellen Johnson declared her asset and made it public. Honorable Baka never did that. So, if you want to use that same yardstick to George Weir, you have to use it for Baka. He got all those things. He never did anything. He never did any of those things. So this is why I'm telling you, Honorable Baka got serious question to answer when you defending him to say he's never been corrupt. And I said there were letters from the Doe region allegedly dismissing him for $2.7 million, and he was audited, and that auditor found him liable. But the only reason they did not prosecute people, it had been something that had been done in the past. When the person dismissed you for some corruption, they let you go. And it was.
Who administration was he audited?
Doe. His own.
Doe administration you will count as a credible auditing agency?
Hold on. You see, this is what's wrong with some of you liberal. Today you say Doe administration was not credible to audit anybody. Is that real? When the American came to Liberia upon Doe invitation at the Ministry of Finance, what happened there? He didn't dismiss Guy Jones of that audit.
Matthews, that's our removed from finance as well.
Because of that audit. Doe had a problem. But you cannot say everything there was just rubbish. No. And today, this is the same argument you're making on behalf of Joseph Baka. And I'm telling you, one Nathaniel Blama, his own countryman, attacking on the same issue. And he had never responded. But the 2.5 million, I think 2.7 million, he was dismissed by Doe. LPMC. He was at the agriculture bank. What happened to the institution? Let him make sure of what he did there to change the life of the Liberian people. So these are open discussion we need to have. We can't just
with all of it, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Who will you prefer, Dr. Baka or Dr. George Weir for the next president, next term?
Okay, so then let me ask you this.
No, but let me answer my question first. Let me answer the question. Why you want to shield? Why you want to shield him? Oh, because all of you are conservatives.
Mr. Toy, no, I'm not. I don't bite my tongue.
Okay. So
I will not support Baka presidency, and I will not support George Weah presidency. Period.
So who you want to support?
Nobody.
That's my decision. I mean, when the time reaches, I will make up my mind. But not
who do you want to see becoming president?
If I have my will, I would prefer Mr. Cummings or somebody else, but not Baka or George Weah.
So if Cummings is not, then what next?
If Cummings not, if he's not elected president, I mean, then the will of the Liberian, whoever to select, that's it.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of talking drum within the Liberty Party column to take Joseph Boyka, the liberal?
I'm not speaking on behalf of.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
No, if you ask that kind of question, you assuming that I'm here to talk to you.
No, you are insider. You based here. Who knows? You're talking to people. Your man Fanatic Kofa say, "Yeah, have you spoken with me?" Who knows what that?
No, since Kofa got here, I think Kofa is mad with me because I was making fun of him and the way he acted with George Weah. So I think he's mad with me. But
you defended the man. You've been defending the show. You said the man.
I would defend him when the truth is there. Kofa is a friend, but I don't defend Kofa because he's a friend. I defend Kofa because of truth. That's
you are defending. You are defending. You said the man is highly educated, and we were saying he was a convicted criminal, and you say he was highly educated. So he should be given a job, and we say he was a convicted criminal. So you are defending him. Why he not calling
you a convicted criminal in the U.S.? Has nothing to do with it. But look what he's doing. Okay, yes, a convicted criminal. Look what the kind of improvement and the kind of thing he's doing in his county. So
what is he doing?
He put in solar panel light all over the country.
Is that the same panel light George we are the president using? Then why we can't give it?
No, so much better.
From where? From California, right?
Yes. That the one in the document the crew called around here to run.
Gentlemen, we'll soon call the evening. So here is the question that I'm wondering. I'm wondering why our national leaders, they can't test their political strength. The Alexander Cummings, the Benina Yuri, if they believe, strongly have that conviction that the House is corrupt, is polluted, and there should be a change. Why they can't do it? John Casey here from Ohio, he contested, it didn't work. He went back to his own state, and he became a governor to fix something. Keith Allison, for congressman, he becomes Attorney General in Minnesota. So why the thing it is only, or is it because of this African? And I see that as another will of just getting to state power to also enrich themselves, because the presidency more or less has the dominant power. So why can't they go into the first branch of government to kind of fix the mess that is there? Why Cummings can't even try to? Why he can't test a strain in Maryland?
You just answered the question. If Cummings to run as a senator, I don't think he'll run in Maryland. I think Cummings would prefer. I would prefer him running in Maryland. But yes, a question. Yes, an answer. You answer that question. The United States government it has a different form of government. United States. Liberia is a different form of government, and that of Africa. The power, the way like the government has been operated in Africa, the power is concentrated in the presidency. So even you go into the house, there is to get anything through is difficult. But you see how the presidency is operated. You see, George, we are today. If he called the speaker and said, "This is what I want," the speaker will not stand up to him. If he called the president pretend, "This is what I want," they will not stand up to him. But yeah, you see, because the form of government that we have here, the governor can tell the president, "Mr. President, I ain't taking order from you. I ain't doing this more here."
Yeah, the Republican, they hook Joe Biden with his infrastructure bill. He now slapped it down, but our folks, they don't do that.
They don't do
Mr. So, and this is a blanket statement on all of us. My opinion, we're so confused. I want to say African, but specifically Liberian, we're so confused. It's unbelievable. We call ourselves learned people. We know little book here and there. However, we tend to follow the tradition, the culture in Africa, in Liberia. And when we try to blend those two in, they don't mix. And that's one of the things we have here. Okay. Honesty. Back home, for example, you dare not stand in public, especially among the old people, and try to be as honest as possible without you being accused of being disrespectful to your other. Back home, when you're talking to your older person, you don't look them in the eyes. It's not because you're afraid, but it's form of respect. You look down as you talk. You don't point your fingers at older person when you're talking back home. Here in the United States, the kids look you straight in the eyes. It's the same, it's a different here. You say you talk to the person, you look straight in their eyes, and then you tell them. That way they know that you're telling the truth, which is different back home. So with our culture different, and we try to put this civilized business ahead of everything we're doing. And it's difficult because many of our brothers and sisters are still operating on the cultural norm of our country. And when you leave from here, you try to take the culture norm from here and try to blend it in. And then on the other hand, then you leave from here, for example, and I'll be ridiculous here. You leave from here, for example, you marry, you get back there, and you alone, you want to get 5, 6 girlfriends. And when people tell you, and I want people to do here, they marry 4, 5 wives. Well, what is different? Who are you? Where are you? Then when you come back in the United States, you come back here as a single married man. What position are you? Who are you? This is the confusing part for all of us, not just the woman business, but I'm just saying in other area, we're so confused because these things are not coming together to help us out. So we ourselves going to have to figure it out, Mr. Soul.
Okay, go ahead before we wrap up for the reason.
Let me just make a point to that thing he's talking about. I understand the culture thing you're talking about, but I don't want the white man or anybody to tell me about African people marrying 6, 7 women or having girlfriends. Because the same thing is happening here. White, black, doing the same thing here. You got all the children who are born out of wedlock. They don't talk about it, but they want to look at to put Africa as a bad place. You come here, you see all the women got children by men who did not marry to. Some of them married, got 2, 3 children outside already. They don't look at that. They don't talk about it, but it's Africa that want to make it as the boo matter where people are doing these things. That one, I just said, we should not even go that way with our people. Let's just put it aside.
Is that why you bought your cow tail for?
Yeah.
I told you people this cow tail came from Walmart because it's been so abused, it's been so misused by them men from Total. This is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Is that why you bought a cow tail? Original cow tail, they are not easily displayed. Do you see me on a time? Very suddenly.
Your own are not original.
Yeah, because it's original. I use it very suddenly. But every time, as soon as we come on playing that cow tail, I don't know why you knocking there.
No.
All right. Okay. So guys, before we leave, I don't know how to information. I saw the Jida High Talk were doing a testing. Saying that the delegation they're supposed to be speaking. They're supposed to be having a conference. We don't know whether that conference has taken place. Pretty close to a week, couple of days now. We are hearing the delegation will be returning. Others are saying there's some good development. Will it be a strategic move by this delegation? Are they waiting to get back on ground before they announce to the Liberian people? If we're all just living a loop like this, what do you think they're going to be?
Mr. So let me say this. If there's a good news for Liberia,
which of course I want a good news,
that's okay. We'll be glad. But if these people came here, if they met with certain people, I don't know whom, but if it is the government of the United States, somebody will hear something. So I don't know who are they met with or they will be meeting with, but however that meeting turned, what my focus is the dividend.
Okay.
What will be the payoff for life?
All right. All right. Deliverer, what's your last word?
Well, thank you very much. I will be coming on within the next 3 to 4 hours today to finish my role project. And like I said, I have on me now in my possession the Dole community role, and exactly things that I was predicting at the time it has come to pass, and I will point those out. I'm also waiting for the Rawafee Highway, so that I will also talk about it. But my guys in Liberia, our chief in Liberia is also guaranteed that he will get it done next week. So hopefully next week we'll jump onto these two, Rawafee and Dole community. But these are not, especially Dole community road, if you watch it on a very serious note, these are not things that will give you reason to be happy, because it's on both sides. The government way of approaching, and the citizen themselves who's supposed to protect their access are not doing so. And so those are the kinds of things that I will talk about. And after the show, I will contact Mr. George. So hopefully this time around, he and I can come on live just like we're doing now and be able to have the conversation about that.
Lastly, what do you think going to be the outcome with this whole Steve Zacko fallout with this whole Prince Johnson? Will he be penalized? Will he be expelled? That's what Darrell Dillon and other people are calling for. Would that be a calculated? Would that be a good political decision at this time?
No, if you expel Steve Zacko, especially come 2023, Steve Zacko, whether he's run or not, he has a follower as well. If you expel him right now, you're giving room to the detractor. Steve Zacko should be lectured in a meeting and be warned, even if you can give him some sort of a penalty, 1 or 2 months of suspension or whatever it is. But to expel him, I don't support that.
Mr. George?
As Mr. already said, I think you need to be reprimanded. Because look, you join institution for certain reasons. If you join an institution and if you cannot be in line with the decision of the institution, then there's a problem.
This guy resigned in the injury time during the conventions of Liberty Party, so there's a problem here.
That to a statement that he said that or somebody had made, is that an excuse? Now he come out to say, oh, he regret the decision he made. So you can see that these people, something is wrong with them. They are not just stable in decision making. I tell you, these people, you can't trust them. Yeah, because this is not Steve Zacko first time doing the thing again. It's not his first time. So what they think on what is the thinking when they're making the decision? They are setting that. Look at what Mitch McConnell did. Mitch McConnell, and he had told the Democrat that every member of his committee will vote against that bill, and they are doing it. You think they're talking about constituency? No, they are talking about the party line. So if the party come and say, well, certain thing, the party said, you know what happened? This is the vote we want you to take.
The Trump Republican, right?
Yes, the Trump Republican. They have made it clear to the Democrat. And Mitch McConnell said it. A non-starter, we're not going there, and none of my committee members, none of my members will vote. And they have it. Why we can't do the same thing in Liberia?
Okay, well, gentlemen,
I just wanted to let them reprimand him for the first. I mean, not the first time, but they won't let it just reprimand him.
Why we can't do the same thing in Liberia? Let's look at this. Our crew, they were on site today, and let's see this here.
Common thing, and we do not take it for granted. This is a great blessing that we have unto us. Father, today, as we stand in this cell communication today, we release your blessings upon this radio station. Father,
I think the ruling establishment is gradually building the media empire to wage an effective campaign and message into the Liberia. T. Falai, he opened his college today, and there's a network and all of that, so they are trying to solidify their talking point, hopefully to put them through. Gentlemen, that's how we want to draw the curtain down this evening. Pa George, I want to thank you so much. The Liberal Progressive, our man from Harport, Gos Young, thank you for that beautiful reporting. By God's willing, same time, same stations, and our viewers, we want to thank you for sharing the Sunday with us. And we're hoping, hopefully something will come from the GOL as the result of this high power delegation, so that we'll know. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has been slammed of his action towards the Palestinian, and so there's some sort of pressure is being mounted of alleged crime being committed. but he's standing. The Israel. These big guys, they always stand with the people of Israel. But we're going to see how that happens.
Yeah, the young Israeli views are changing. You see, the young Israeli views are changing now. So there's something is moving.
Only the liberal is unwilling to change. Well, but that's okay. We are getting there. We will get him to get to understand. Well, the liberal.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. So.
All right. Okay, to our folks, I want to thank you for sharing the evening with us. Hopefully, by God's willing, you're going to be here. You say you're coming on in what, 4 hours time?
Yes. I'll be on later on this evening.
Okay, we'll monitor and see it to point out those the good and the bad, right?
It's not going to be Doe Community Road, and Doe Community Road will be next week. But I'm just trying to finish up my program, my road project here. So at least when I'm ready to critique the Doe community, people will know where I stand, what I do, what I don't do. And stuff.
I just got a text message from Samuel Tour. He wants you to call him, and you guys will be going to the library to get the project for Rawa.
I don't need to meet with I don't need to.
Once you get to where you get my gate, they are twins brother anyway.
Oh yeah.
I don't need to meet with any of them because they will want to charge me, and I don't have money to pay anybody.
Your representative said he's supposed to talk to you.
Well, that's another story. They usually charge you if they want you to do something for them. For example, give you a job or whatever. Then they want you to charge. They want you to pay.
People can bid for job.
No, if for many of the ministers, in fact, somebody like the deputy minister in public work have to pay more money.
Don't put a man to who you putting in trouble here. Why are you calling the deputy minister? Why are you doing this?
Because that's the fight. I was there.
He got his buddy Victor Smith, so let's call his name, right? Is that what Victor Smith told you?
No, Victor Smith is telling her. But I know about it because I was in Liberia at the time. Okay. I was in Liberia at the time.
Okay.
Remember, LPR sent me over there to be able to cover the inaugural program. While I was there.
This is a guy who was calling you uncover sedition. We began to see now. So you were hanging with those guys, you were drinking beer, and you come back here, you want to wipe your mouth like a little killie. All right, guys. We are uncover. Bye-bye, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Good night, Mr.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Everybody, everything's going bad. The situation getting worse. Everybody in the country getting mad. It's on the state, poverty on the rise. The leaders them making empty promises. Promises for no damn strategies. Yeah, this is better days, money in the pockets. Oh, after holidays only for the bosses. Yeah, there's a better days, money in your pockets. Holidays only for the bosses. Oh yo, hey, what about the children? What about the people? What about your families? What are gonna eat? Yeah, so Seti and we waiting you. Yeah, so waiting and we happy They don't really care about you. They don't care my people, it's true. They don't wanna see you break through. The whole country's getting confused. Corruption, no questions. The country's going in the wrong direction. Leaders high belly, many mentions. We don't know where the money come from. Attention, corruptions. Why nobody asks the question? They need to be in detention. 40 in our nation. Think about the children, think about the future. Whoa, think about the families, what they're gonna eat. Yeah, so, whoa, yeah, so.
You've worked for months to bring your or your client's event to life, but unfortunately, The world had another plan. In reality, the only thing you lost is the venue. We take your vision for hosting a virtual conference and bring it to life online. No matter how complex your agenda is, we produce a smooth, engaging experience. Call the Liberia Public Radio today and schedule your event. Our number is 682-433-8802. If you prefer to submit your request via email, please send the request to liberiapublicradio2012@gmail.com. Our staff are standing by waiting for your phone call.